He thought he'd found the greatest treasure in history, but he may have unleashed a death sentence. Within months, the man who funded the dig was dead, then his brother, then his nurse, then the man who x-rayed the mummy. The world called it the Pharaoh's Revenge, a 3,000-year-old curse meant to kill anyone who dared to wake the boy king. But was it an ancient spell, or something much more microscopic? Stick around because the truth is scarier than any ghost story. In November 1922, Howard Carter finally broke the seal on the tomb of Tutankhamun, releasing air that hadn't moved in 30 centuries. 6 months later, the horror began when the billionaire behind the mission, Lord Carnarvon, died from a simple mosquito bite that turned into lethal blood poisoning. At the exact second he passed away in a Cairo hotel, every light in the city mysteriously flickered and died, plunging millions into total darkness. Thousands of miles away in England, Carnarvon's favorite dog reportedly let out a final, haunting howl and dropped dead at that same precise moment, leaving the world to wonder if a spiritual tripwire had been triggered. The tragedies didn't stop with the billionaire. The Pharaoh seemed to be hunting down anyone who touched the story. Next was George J. Gould, who stepped into the tomb and died the very next morning from a crushing fever. Then came the radiologist Archibald Reed, who was the first to x-ray the king's bones and died before he could even finish his report. Even those who received gifts from the tomb weren't safe, like the friend of Carter whose house burned to the ground and was then hit by a freak flood after he was given a mummified hand as a paperweight. People became so terrified that they began mailing their Egyptian artifacts back to museums in unmarked boxes, desperate to get the blood gold out of their homes before they became the next victim. For decades, the world argued over ghosts and coincidences, but modern science has revealed a third option that is far more terrifying than a haunting. When you seal a room for 3,000 years with raw meat, fruit, and a decaying body, you create a perfect laboratory for toxic biological weapons. Researchers recently found that the tomb walls were covered in Aspergillus flavus, a toxic mold that lies dormant for millennia and attacks the lungs of anyone who inhales it. It doesn't kill you instantly. It hides in your system, slowly eating away at your organs until it looks like a natural death. This leads us to wonder, was the curse actually a 3,000-year-old biological minefield designed to execute grave robbers from beyond the grave? But there is one final mystery that the history books rarely mention. If the tomb was a death trap, why did Howard Carter, the man who actually pulled the mask off the king, live for another 17 years? Some believe the curse was actually a brilliant, dark lie invented by Carter himself to keep thieves and the government away from his gold. Whether it was a ghost, a fungus, or a genius marketing plan, it worked, as Tutankhamun is now the most famous face on Earth and has achieved the one thing every pharaoh truly wanted: to never be forgotten. So, I have to ask, if you found a door with a 3,000-year-old warning written in blood, would you open it for the gold or leave the boy king in the dark? Type open or leave in the comments and hit that follow button for the next mystery science can't explain.